Qasem forfeited his career in the Air Force in 2005 to escape Gaddafi's Libya. He has been struggling to find work in Europe ever since and to stay out of reach of the regime's hitmen.
للأسف الشديد يعني شهائدنا من ليبيا سواء كان طبيب من ليبيا متخرج من ليبيا أو طيار شهائد غير معترف بهم وبالتحديد هنا في بلجيكا نظام التعليم عندهم عالي جدا. طبيعة العمل الذي كنت أقوم به في ليبيا يعني السرب اللي كنت أشتغل به هو سرب مضاد للغواصات، يعني مراقبة الشواطئ، حماية الشواطئ الليبية من أي هجمة قد تكون من البحر أو عبر الغواصات، وحاول رصد تحرك الغواصات في البحر. على سبيل المثال لما تم إعدام خميس الغناي، خميس الغناي من أحد القبائل الموالية للقذافي تم إعدامه وحضروا لنا هذا الشريط وشاهدناه شبه بالقوة، يعني حضروا لنا أنك لازم تحضر وتشاهد هذا الشريط فقط لترهيب. خروجنا من ليبيا كان لضغوط، يعني كانت الاستدعاءات من المخابرات، التحقيقات المتكررة، يعني في تضييق على الحريات، يعني في تضييق يعني بشكل رهيب. يعني أناديكم أخوتي في ليبيا جميعا أن تتحركوا باتجاه طرابلس، إنها المعقل الأخير لنظام القذافي.
Voices like Qasem's have been tireless in trying to expose human rights abuses in Libya. But as Gaddafi posed less of a threat to the West, governments there lost interest in his abuse of human rights.
The leader of Libya, Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi, publicly confirmed his commitment to disclose and dismantle all weapons of mass destruction programs in his country.
In 2003, Libya gave up its ambitions to develop nuclear weapons to become Europe's fourth largest oil producer.
When Libya came out of the cold, and I hear a lot of foreign people talking about how Gaddafi has changed. As far as Libyans are concerned, Gaddafi hasn't changed the slightest.
And who has to feel shame? The people who bowed to him and kissed his hand. I did not bow to him, and I did not kiss his hand. Unfortunately, foreign governments, they bowed to him and they kissed his hand, like they're kissing the hand of a saint.
He's very erratic, very irresponsible, and everyone knows, but because he's pumping oil, because he has control over that oil, people are willing to dismiss anything he does.
Libya's oil fields now lie in the eastern half of the country Gaddafi has lost to the uprising. In his battle to remain, Gaddafi has set his people against one another. What began as a protest has become a fight for the future.
I received a Twitter from a youth in Libya, and this probably was the hardest one I got and most life-changing. And it says, I can't specifically quote what he said, but from what I remember, I'm paraphrasing. He said, we, the youth in Libya, will topple the regime down, and you, the people outside of Libya, you need to come back and rebuild the country. And I'm determined to make it, to make his dream come true, and we will go back and we will rebuild Libya.
Especially my daughter, she's very upset because she has she said to me, why we can't go home, Dad? And the first thing, I want to take them to Benghazi, and I walk the streets of my hometown with them. And that would be the greatest feeling for me.
Malaysia has created amongst the world's greenest, most cost-efficient buildings and constructed the most futuristic Formula One racing circuits. Discover Malaysia's service excellence at the Malaysia Services Exhibition Abu Dhabi. Register with Matrade.
Rhythms of resistance.
A part of the struggle and popular resistance is art. Through my art, I resist. Resistance is my art, and my art is my war.
Musicians using music as a way to maintain their cultural identity.
I believe that when I sing to the world, I portray Palestine through my voice, my singing, and my songs.
Songs from the lost homeland. At this time, on Al Jazeera.
Libyan rebels say they're closing in on government strongholds, but they're facing a sustained fight back.
The pro-Gaddafi forces have aircraft, the opposition fighters don't. It's their one really big disadvantage.
Good afternoon from Doha, where it has just gone midday, 0900 hours GMT. I'm Kamal Santa Maria with the world news from Al Jazeera. Muammar Gaddafi's made another fleeting appearance in Tripoli. He's still there, shows the crowds he's still fighting. While NATO's eyes in the sky keep track of Libyan airspace as some rebels renew their calls for a no-fly zone to ground Gaddafi's air force. And the crisis is sending oil prices soaring and world stock markets falling. Coming up, live reaction from London's financial centre. So the battle to gain ground in Libya is raging on. Anti-government fighters have repelled a number of attacks from Gaddafi's forces as fighting spreads along the country's coastline. But Reuters news agency is reporting that Gaddafi's forces are pushing east as well towards Ras Lanuf. As ever, there are different takes on events being presented by the different sides. However, these are the main flashpoints as they stand right now. In the east, first of all, there are reports of fighting between pro and anti-government forces in Tobruk. Then you've got Benghazi, which is, of course, the stronghold of the rebel fighters who say they are still in control of Benghazi. And they're pushing further west as well. Ras Lanuf and Bin Jawad is where there has also been heavy fighting. Misrata as well, as we come further west. This is a strategic place. It's between Tripoli and Gaddafi's hometown of Sirte. There's been fierce fighting there, reports of at least 18 people killed. But then when we get into the west of the country, Tripoli, still very much the stronghold of Muammar Gaddafi and his forces, very much in their control. But not far away, Zawiya, rebels say they have repelled a counterattack by Gaddafi's forces, and they say they've got control